Peter is can't share the live thing, as I'm going to have to do that first, I suppose. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's show of Mauls, Balls and All. The breakdown, of course, I am joined by our two usual suspects of Bishop Len and Matt Boland. Matt, I'll come to you first, I suppose. Ireland and France from Thursday night. France win that 36-14. Matt, give us your opinion on it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Where do I fucking start? Like, talk about being blown straight out of the water in the first fucking 15 minutes. I've no words. No words. I thought we would have fought more in the first half. You know, the fact that we were just outplayed in every facet of the game was just unbelievable. We were starved of ball. We repeated.
We weren't starved. We just gave it away.
Yeah, but then we repeated doing the same thing, kicking the ball, not retaining, kicking the ball, not retaining. Like, when does it get to a point where, okay, fuck lads, this ain't working. Let's try something else. Where did that go? Like, we were devoid of any sort of outside thinking whatsoever. Plan A isn't working. Let's go to plan B. Plan B ain't fucking working. Let's go to plan C. I was frustrated. I was as frustrated as hell in that first half, as I'm sure most people were watching. You know, being honest, I thought at halftime, I thought we were going to be fucking 50-0 by the end, you know, and we probably would have deserved it. You know, I suppose the only shining light was our bench. Our bench came on and changed the game. You know, Nick Timoney, if he had been on for the full 80 minutes, I would have loved to have seen that, because that lad, he had the most carries, the most meters as a substitute, and that'll tell you a tale. Plus, he got a try.
No, don't be excited making too much. You know what she's like when you hear mention the word Nick Timoney.
I should be slipping off her seat. Sure, look, it's grand.
Yeah.
But look, you know, is it a good thing? No, it's not a good thing for Irish rugby. On the long finger, it probably is, because it might give them the fucking kick up the hole that they need. But in saying that, France were an absolute joy to watch. They were fucking phenomenal. Yeah. And, you know, you've got to give it to Fabien Galtier, because he left out some big names. Damien Penaud, fucking Gregory Aldred, your stalwarts of that French team. And they weren't even missed. You know, they were unbelievable to watch. They really were. And it was just a shame it was against us. You know, if that had been against England or Scotland or any team, you'd be fucking, this is brilliant, you know. But when it's against us and we're on the receiving end of it, it's not so nice. But they were fantastic. They done their homework, you know. They had us everywhere. You know, we hadn't a chance. You know, second half came and fair play. They dug deep. They got 2 tries. Probably could have got another try, you know, but France came back into it kind of. They had their purple patch towards the end, got the final score, and that was pretty much the nail in the coffin. But, you know, you look at the positives. I mean, second half, they did a hell of a lot better, gave themselves a good account, corrected a lot of things. Their scrum was way better. Their line out was fucking unbelievable. You know, just other areas that they didn't capitalize on, you know. And when you get into the 22, we've seen this before, time and time again, you need to start scoring. You know, you get into that area, that goal area, you need to start putting points on the board, you know, and that's one of the things that has been killing us for a while. So, look, we have to take it, you know.
Yeah, I think that's what you do with Sean Edwards' defence as anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we take it on the chin. It's not the best start to the championship, but now they've something to play for. Now they've pride to play for, because Italy are coming to town, and I can tell you, if we play like that, Italy will have a fair fucking go at us because they have been improved. I think since people started telling them they need to be thrown out of the Six Nations, they said, well, fuck you, lot. We're going to fucking show you. And they've done it in the past few years. And with a result like that against Scotland, Scotland are by no means a pushover. This is going to be a whopper game. And I tell you, two things need to happen. We either need to fucking slaughter them off the park to make a fucking point or a statement. And we need to be better in terms of if something's not going right, we adjust. We try this, doesn't work grand, we'll move on, we'll try something else. They've got to get that thought process back in. That Ireland team that we know they can do all the things that people don't expect them to do. Get thinking, get creative, adapt, evolve in games, and fucking they've pride to play for now. So that's going to be a huge factor.
Then before I come to you, I just want to get through a few comments here anyway from a few people that are coming in. Gregor with a few here saying we need a few rounds after Thursday there, Lynn. Don't worry, we'll come to you in the evening as well anyway, Gregor. Gregor again saying French were more up for it. Ooh. Johan here saying Crowley has to start versus Italy. Prendergast just can't defend. I suppose
we'll get on to that.
Yeah, we'll come back to that later on. Bev and evening, guys. Absolute shit show Irish rugby has been this weekend. A year until the World Cup, and the team isn't good enough. Look, this could be a blessing.
Fair play.
But Bev, this could be a blessing in disguise in one respect as well. Johan in here again. Van der Cleer, Doris, Poor. How about back row with Izzy, Timney, and Cohen starting with Van der Fleer or Doris on the bench?
I wouldn't disagree with that.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
If they were all fit and ready to go. Look, we'll get onto that. But yeah, he has a point.
I would say no. We'll hear in here from Joe Lyons. It's a numbers game. The depth in France and England is off the charts to Ireland. Top 14, 3 divisions at a pro level. That's 42 teams. England, 220 teams before regional setup is in both countries. Ireland, 4 teams and no movement of players and a pool of 175 to 200 professionals. Difference when England and France miss players, they have others when we miss, we drop off massively.
Absolutely.
There's actually a good question in that there, Joe. I'm going to come back to it later on. But
actually, I just want to answer that for 1 second. What Joe says is 100% right.
Yeah.
Right. I'll agree with him with everything he said. On the flip side of that is, we'll probably come on to it later, but if we have lads wilting away in academies and getting their first pro contract and what have you, and there's only 4 provinces that we can spread them around. So there's guys who've left the game. There's guys, they maybe have to go over to the Pro D2 in France or whatever, because there just isn't enough spaces for them because we only have 4 teams. So that's a positive for France that they have the amount of teams that they can spread out across and get game time. That's number 1. And what was the second point? Because it's fucking gone out of my fucking head.
Stick the comment back up, Danny.
No, stick back up there for 1 second again.
Let him get his glasses on.
I really don't think that it's a numbers game. The depth in France and England is off the charts to Ireland. Top 14, 3 divisions at pro level. That's 42 teams. England, 220 teams before regional setup in both countries. Ireland, 4 teams and no movement of players.
I don't know what the fuck I was going to say. It's gone in my head. But like that point of, there's not enough spaces for these guys in the academy. So they're not getting in. They'll ever get to the first team. They just won't because they don't get the game time. So the amount of teams that the French league have, like 14 teams compared to 4. All these guys coming through, there's so much they can get their pool players more game time than you can in Ireland. So that was the other point. Sorry, that was my other point, which I want to fucking talk about later. Is this fucking famous cohesion, which is wrecking my fucking head, right? And this whole thing about, cohesion, we can't bring players in from Connacht, and we can't bring players in from Ulster. And, a Dogbo now needs time to find his feet, because it's all about cohesion. He wouldn't be used to playing, the Ireland-Leinster system. Galtay can manage it with fucking 14 teams. He can take players from 14 teams. Doesn't seem to have any problem with cohesion. So why the fuck can't we manage it with 4? I'm sick of listening to cohesion, to be quite honest with you. That was my point. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah. All right, but then I'll ask you your thoughts on the France-Ireland game from Thursday night.
Yep.
France win 36.
What did Farrell say there last week before we went out? That we're now the hunters rather than the hunters. You forgot the fucking bow and arrows, lads. We got fucking skinned alive. And a lot of bollocks, right? No, I'm fucking serious. Like, fucking. And I love these sound bites. They're great. But the positives, what I thought was the guys that wouldn't normally be starters in the first team in the Irish squad, I thought they actually stood up. As well, put it to you this way. Again, people going, the injuries. And no, hang on a minute, because the likes of Lockman, McCluskey, Keane Prendergast, Clarkson, they didn't play any worse, I don't think, than the guys that should have been in there if they weren't injured or out. That's number one, right? As Matt said, the scrum, the line out, that was good. Our bench saved us from fucking embarrassment, to be quite honest with you.
Absolutely.
Conan, Crowley, Ryan, Beelum, they made an impact. And Timney and Mills, as Timney had a fucking brilliant game. Without Timney and Mills' tries, that's what I'm saying. It would have been a fucking very long week for us if we'd have got nilled in that game. The only starter in the team that I thought probably redeemed himself was Osborne, mainly due to the fact that he's only back from injury, right? So he's literally back. He's had, 3-month layoff, and he fucking ran his heart out on the night. And probably justified his selection as starter on the night, but everybody else was seriously below par, apart from, as I say, those younger lads and the bench. And there was another thing. Fogarty was interviewed pitchside at half time, and he was asked what did you remember that? Yeah. And he asked what he wanted, and he said, we need to show some character. Mm-hmm. When has any Irish team been lacking character? You just don't. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's one thing about it. We always have heart. The negatives was basically everything fucking else. Everything. As Matt said, no.
Sorry, Len.
Yeah, no,
I think on John's comment, I think that will be an eye opener for the team. Like you said, when is no Irish team showing character? And the fact that when he said that at halftime, he said, this is a test of their character now, because, they've been bent over in that first half. They need to come out and show something in the second half, which they did. And like you said, the bench, only for the bench, we'd have been absolutely bent over again in that fucking second half.
Yeah, can you imagine the first game of the Six Nations getting nilled?
Yeah, and look, I was really, really thinking that was the way the game was going to go.
Yeah, it was looking at that. And I'll be quite honest with you, if that bench hadn't made that, if we had continued without that bench, we would have got hockeyed.
Yeah. Sorry for cutting across you there, Len.
No, you're grand. But as you said, look, Matt, you said there was about the plan A, B, and C. I don't really even think we had a fucking plan A, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not even an A 1.1 or whatever it was. Like, it was kick the shite out of the ball, try and gather it. And that was it. And then we're kicking to fucking a French team, a little fucking back three that just love loose, broken fucking play. Like, you see, to be honest with you, I'm actually probably not blaming the players here. And I know Fogarty said about character. I don't think we can't lay all of this on the players, to be quite honest with you. I think it's the systems. We'll come on to this, but we are now, it seems patently obvious since fucking 2024 that we're going down the road of this kicking off of 9 and 10, chasing, And it's very, very similar to the kind of game that Borthwick plays with England. But he probably has the personnel that can carry it off a lot better than we do. I don't think, and if this is what we're if we're designing for the World Cup, I think we're fucked. You know, if you go back to, there's actually a very funny story. Kevin McLaughlin, Leinster player, when he was in the Irish setup under Joe Schmidt. Like, we all knew how Joe played, right? Joe was, like Shaggy mentioned this on the commentary there with Virgin Media about when Joe came in and it was passing. He said, we thought we could pass pretty well until they found out, no, you couldn't with Joe. It was the basics. People would say it was boring, it was scripted, right? It was line out, maul over, rinse and repeat. But it was fucking effective. It was very, very effective. Yeah. And he brought us a hell of a long way along, right? So the basics, what he said, anyway, McLaughlin said, before each game, you were handed a little 2-page sheet. And there was stuff on it like, don't run laterally, up your intensity by 10, 20% when you get into the 22, right? He said fairly basic stuff, but you were handed this. Well, on the bottom was no offloads unless it's Strickle. And that was it.
Well, I can tell you the French their offloading ability in that game was fucking unbelievable, and it put us to shame. Yeah, it really did. And it wasn't just that part of their game and their skill set that put us to shame. There was lots of it, but yeah, nailing that.
But that was kind of the funny side of it. But I know the rugby public were started getting bored of lack of innovation with Joe towards the end of his time, right? And then, in all fairness, Farrell came in and we went away from the script. He gave players more individual responsibility. Everybody was allowed offload. You know what I mean? Yeah. Ruck speed went up, and it was very, very successful. We had the World Cup in 23. Should have been a downer. We came back. We won the Six Nations in 24. And now we decided to fucking jettison all of that, or as Mike Reedy would call it, puke rugby.
Yeah, and look, like after the Autumn Nations, there was loads of people online saying, "Oh, Ireland are in decline, and this is a bad sign for Ireland." And I actually totally dismissed it all, and I said, nonsense. They're just fucking messing with our heads, trying to get in our heads, but. You look at that. You look at that performance in France, and you're thinking, "Shit, maybe we are in fucking decline." Because
we have been regressing. Though you only have to look at the stats, man. But look,
I know. I didn't want to believe it. Like as a fan, as a fan sitting at home watching them play and seeing all the shit on social media, I didn't want to believe it. Stats aside, stats will tell a different story as they always do. But again, you can't rely on stats though either, because sometimes you can have all the possession, all the territory, all the physical gain, but not win a game. And lose the game. So at times they don't tell the right story. But
hold up now. We lost the game and the fucking stats backed it fucking up.
Oh yeah, 100%. This time 100%. Like
19 contestable kicks in that game. 19. Do you know how many we won? 4 of the contestable. 19. But as we said, we continue to do it.
Less
40 fucking missed tackles.
Less than 12%.
Yeah.
Less than 12. On 12%, 12% of our carries were driven backwards. So and it was 3.4% of our tackles were dominant. That was it. They were fucking.
That was the point. That was the point I was making. I didn't want to believe it, but after that performance, I was like, "Fuck, now we're in trouble."
Now, there's a good comment here. There's a good comment in here. I want to get your opinion on. I've got a question for this, different question after as well. It's actually from your mother, Pauline Boland. We've fallen off since Farrell left to go to the Lions tour last year. Do you think there's some correlation between him leaving for that period of time and then coming back in and trying to readjust into everything again?
Look, I was 100% I agree with you, Pauline, because I was going to come to that. I think it's a big fucking part of it, to be quite honest with you.
I haven't actually spoken to my mum about it, but she has the nail on the head there. Honestly,
you text her and go, "Ma'am, say this and fucking drive Len fucking mad."
and you know the thing that I was actually more worried about this Six Nations is all them lads that were on that Lions tour, all the English guys, the couple of Welsh guys, and all the Scottish lads. They have Andy Farrell's fucking playbook.
Yeah.
Because it was like literally, and this is what I'm worried about now in the games, like Scotland and like England. They know exactly what we're going to do. They know exactly what we're going to try. And we could be in fucking big trouble in them games. I'm hoping Andy Farrell didn't give him the whole fucking playbook, that he kept something aside, but she has made an absolute perfectly good and substantial point in saying the hiatus that Andy Farrell took from the team has definitely had an impact, because we saw Simon Easterby, like it's tough.
That's trying to be diplomatic.
It's tough to try and follow in the footsteps of somebody like Andy Farrell when he had so much success with Ireland so quickly, and things were left in place and he was left in charge, and all of a sudden then there was visible signs of something wasn't right in camp. And all of a sudden then we weren't getting the performances that we should have been. Facets of the game were out the window. We weren't competing in lineouts. Our scrum got fucking absolutely mullered, and 100%. Like, I don't know. I'm actually concerned. I'm concerned that now everybody knows what exactly we're going to do, and that's why we couldn't. We had no backup plan in that game.
Matt, I'll come to another question. This came to me earlier on. You said about the French leaving out Pinot and Aldrich as well, right? Should Farrell do a system, let's say, in Six Nations every so often, where he drops a couple of big names, gives a couple of younger players a chance to come in there and see how they step up, and see how, let's say he drops Doris, he drops Ryan, he drops Sheehan, and replace them with other players, and see how they react when they come back in, let's say, for the summer series or November series. Change it up for the Six Nations a bit. See how those lads that are brought in step up, and see how the lads that are dropped. See how they react when they're brought back in.
Yeah, look,
that should be done.
Danny, we've spoken about this.
Yeah.
We all think
we're like fucking broken records, Matt.
We all think that teams should be rotated. Guys should be coming in. Guys should be left out in order to build your depth, in order to give these guys test level experience and that sort of stuff. But there's too much money online for Ireland not to be able to win something in the Six Nations. It's just it's about money, and the IRFU are probably behind a lot of the decisions that are going on in the team to say, if the players are available, you need to pick them, because there's too much money at hand. If Ireland come fourth, fifth, or sixth, the earnings that they get from that Six Nations, the decrease is absolutely savage, and it could have a serious detrimental effect to the provinces. And that's what they're based on pitching a team that they know is going to get some sort of results. Okay, granted, we're forced. Andy's hand was forced with certain injuries and that yada yada. There's nothing he can do about that. Then he has to find replacements, which is a good thing to build them up, especially in a World Cup cycle. But if these players are available, they're fucking playing. End of story.
Yeah, but Matt, therein lies the fucking problem. Exactly. We know the IRFU is a business. We know that. We look at this as fucking spectators, that we love the sport. We love the game of rugby, right? So to us, it's a sport. It's a sport and a business to the IRFU. We know this. It's bums and seats. But if this team continues, in my mind, this new system, this kick fucking chase system, that seems to be where we're transitioning. We've already started transition to it. It doesn't succeed. Don't mind about coming fucking third or fourth this year. There's going to be a hell of a lot less bums on seats in the fucking Aviva next year because nobody's going to want to fucking turn up. Because I'll tell you something, with the amount of fucking corporate and influencers are filling that fucking stadium, they're the most fickle crowd you're going to get. So they're long gone. You know, at least
there's a caveat to that. There's a caveat to that, right? And I don't have a crystal ball. This is just my thoughts, right? Say, for argument's sake, next year we throw out all the big names and name a.
No, nobody ever said that, though, Max.
Right? No, I'm just saying, right?
Yeah.
As an instance, right?
Yeah.
We do what fucking Galtier did a few years ago when he named a team that
was the extreme end
hear of, right?
Yeah.
And we end up coming 5th or 6th, right? What happens is the money that the IRFU have lost, they need to gain back.
Yep.
And what's going to happen then? They're going to raise the pricing of the tickets again. And what do you do then?
Yeah.
Like, you know, and people are already giving out about cost of prices, and you'll see everything else go up, and all of a sudden, like the last.
But they'll still pay it to see a winning team. If it's a team on decline,
exactly.
they have a hell of a lot.
If the stadium isn't full, the IRFU are not running a proper business. Do you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, money talks. And if they don't have money, we don't have a team, and we don't have provinces either.
Well, I'll just say on that point, there's 2 things we have discussed here. Fucking, as I said, till we're blue in the face. Is one,
Sam and Jack.
What? What did you say?
Sam and Jack.
No, that's not what we haven't actually. We very rarely actually touched on it. And the 2 things that we've been fucking whinging about is Ian Arbour's fucking influence and how it's affected.
I got comment on that. We can talk about that.
Well, just let me finish my point, Matt, for 1 second, Danny.
I'm Danny, not Matt.
Jesus, Lane.
Yeah. We how many times we've been discussing this, as I said, for about 18 months, right? And the other one is not bringing through young, and we both agreed on it. He needs to bring through fucking youth, right? And when I say bring through youth, not just plumb the depths of the Leinster Academy. He's not going across. Like Ulster are up there. Mark Sexton is up there with Richie Murphy. Okay, they haven't got there yet, but they're playing a nice brand of fucking rugby. They had no choice but to look within. And, you know, all right, Bryn Ward's after getting a call up now into the squad. But a load of these lads get call-ups. And they go into the training camp. And then they fuck off back again. And they never get fucking seen next near pitch. Here's one for you, right? And it's a fucking... This will tell you, right? Craig Casey is basically the second scrum half for the Irish team, correct?
Yeah.
James Gibson Park is the first, right? Craig Casey just got his 25th cap for Ireland. How many times has he started for Ireland?
I wouldn't say. I'd say the summer tour was his first start as captain. Or
he got to start against Italy, right? Start against Italy. So you're second in line. At what fucking stage, after 25 caps, do you go, do you know what? Jesus, we might actually start Craig here to see how he goes. And we'll have Jameson there on the bench, just in case. Now, that's fucking mismanagement. I don't give a fuck what you say. And people say that Andy Farr is a great manager and he's great around the camp and all that. And I have no doubt he is. But
it's just
you're going to fucking insist. And as well as on Pauline's point, he took a year off.
If Rick comes here, then come on.
You're just as well. You're fucking sitting behind the screen there. I'm wound up.
I'll
let me make one more point and I'll leave you off.
I'll slap the hair back on your head, man.
Yeah. How's it looking? I just thought it came on the show.
I'd fucking love to see. I ain't jumping in for you.
But he took a year off, right? And he went on sabbatical. But he took half the fucking, or 3/4 of the Irish team with him. So they're also fucked when they come back. So there's a hangover from that physically. And the boys do look tired on the pitch. That's what I'm saying. You can't put all the blame on the players, right? And as well as that, he took Vinnie Hammond with him, right? So the fucking whole crew has gone down. Now, he's our fucking head of innovation. And he was there in Joe Smith's time. And that guy is supposed to be very, very good at what he does. But he covers all the analytics. Now, I know he is a team. But when we were kind of fucking struggling there, when Andy was on his fucking jollies down in Australia, right? Who was doing the analytics? Who was saying this is what we need to do? And then they come back and they throw in this fucking plan, right? As I get fucking wound up. Carry on. You give me a break here, Danny.
Joe, I come to that in this fight now. I come to you with the next one, all right? Joe Lyons, every team that provided the Lions tour with the bulk of players has always dropped off big time post tour.
Not always.
Not one team post tour has won a Six Nations. The RFU fucked up letting Faz go because it messed up the entire system, and we are system based mess with the system. We're toast. That's Joe Lyons.
And as Matt said, he handed the English and Scots and the Welsh. We won't worry about them too much. The fucking playbook.
Yeah. Now, Bev and Hibri, no comment to want to get heard from us. A lot of the Ireland players are from the same team. Could it really be that Niederber has really de-skilled a full team, which has had a knock-on effect to the Ireland squad?
Yep.
Yep. Here, listen, I thought you were coming to me on the last fucking point. You got rid of that fucking fairly quickly.
I know. I still want to get through because I'm getting hassled here from Burke in the private chat saying about the comments.
Who shows us this, Danny?
I'll come to you on this point, Matt. I'll read it out and fucking totally ignore you. Sound.
All right, Matt, I'll come back to you on that one now. Every team that provided from Joe Lyons. Go on you go.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, Joe has a point. He does. I know it hasn't always been the case, but you've definitely seen it in some instances, especially with Warren Gatland. There's been a couple of times when Wales have come back and they haven't functioned properly. But it's not only that. Wales lost their head coach, and he probably picked a lot of Welsh players because he knew them, but he probably picked background staff from Wales as well because he knew them. And that's what's happened here. Like John Fogarty, Vinnie Hammond, God knows how many fucking else went with him for doing God knows what in the background. You've lost all of them out of the Ireland setup. And then all of a sudden we're into an Autumn Nations where we're playing South Africa, New Zealand, fucking Australia, Argentina, and we fucking struggled in all of them games. And it's no wonder, as Len pointed out, Vinnie Hammond is so instrumental in what goes on in the background that the IRFU should have said, right, Faz, you can go, but you're not taking the staff. The fucking staff are staying. Work away. You find staff elsewhere. Because John Fogarty and all was gone, fucking scrum coach, like crazy. And there has to be okay. Look, it's did
O'Connell go?
No, because he stayed with the Ireland team, didn't he?
Oh, he did. He did.
So look, there has to be some sort of right. You know, okay, you can go. The Lions is the pinnacle of everybody's career, and everybody wants any player that's playing rugby for their province and then for internationally, whether it's Ireland, England, Scotland, Wales, if their ultimate goal then is to get picked for the Lions, and it'll be their schoolboy dream. Do you know what I mean? I play rugby. I'd love to play for Ireland, but then I'd love to play for the fucking Lions. You know, and even to go coach the Lions, even go and coach in the Lions, or be a backs coach or a forwards coach or a scrum coach or whatever. It's the pinnacle of their career. And why wouldn't they want to go? So it should have been up to the IRFU to go, right, Faz, you can go, but lads, yous are all fucking staying. We have a job to do. We've got serious games coming up in the Autumn Nations. That's going to warm us up for World Cup time. Yous have to stay.
Yeah, then just to point out there, Paul O'Connell was actually the interim head coach for the summer series for those three games.
I said that.
But
excuse me, just for clarifying the point.
But you're putting me off again. What fucking nonsense?
Oh, we're just good because we're moving on. Then we're moving on. We'll move on to the Ireland-England game.
No. Can we just finish off
Ireland-England game? The Ireland-England game.
Yeah, from the Ireland game versus England 15.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
The A game.
The A game, right? I'm with you.
No, we've just finished off because look, there's not a fucking hell of a lot to discuss in the Ireland A game, right? Let's be honest, right? But like, what you said about, and look, nobody blames Farrell for going down and taking, like, it's so accolade to get, to be chosen as the head coach of the Lions tour, and nobody blames him. But it does have a knock-on effect on his day job. It's as simple as that. And that's one we talked about in Ian Arbor, which we're going on about. We're talking about not blood and younger players. his backroom staff also needs to look at, right? I can't see what Goodman is doing there, to be quite honest with you. I really can't. And I think Mike Catt was an absolutely massive fucking loss. And that's another factor, in my opinion, that's having a detrimental effect on the thing. And I think the whole thing really it needs a shake up. I think it does.
Do you know, the funny thing is, if it goes tits up for the fucking Six Nations, you could easily see the back of Andy Farrell.
I don't think so.
No,
I know he's contracted, but contracts are there to be broken. Like
I don't think it's. No, I think he can turn it around. I think fucking Jetson him at the end of the Six Nations would be fucking madness.
Look, I'm not saying he should be. What I'm saying is, if it goes bad, there's no reason that they couldn't do that.
Yeah,
which would be really bad for us in a World Cup cycle.
Yeah,
but
I don't think the Irish are going to spend the money to get rid of him and then bring sort of so
they can't spend the money because they don't have it.
Yeah, but even Johnny Sexton was brought in there. Like he's kicking an attack coach. I don't know. He's still too close to some of the players that are in there. I don't know. Was that another good idea? Like, not everything that Faz is not invincible. Like, in all fairness, and then
nobody is.
But hang on now.
You're not Len.
Say that in 2024, and you would have been fucking shot down if you dared fucking question any of his decisions, any of his selections. Let's be honest now. Even on our own group, you couldn't fucking hint at anything that Andy might have, shouldn't have played this guy. You'd just be fucking crucified.
Yeah.
I'm beginning to wonder, is Sexton fucking molding Prendergast into a version of himself? I think Sexton would be much better employed going around as a kicking coach between the provinces and maybe some of the yellow AIL clubs.
Look, I said it in terms of, like if it doesn't go well, it's a possibility. I mean, the very same thing happened down in New Zealand. Their coach was fucking axed mid-contract, and what's to say that can't happen if things don't go our way? It's absolutely a possibility. Me personally, I hope it doesn't, because I think Andy Farrell is probably one of the best coaches we've ever had.
Yeah.
And the fact that he was under Joe Schmidt and he was part of Joe Schmidt's tenure as well, he learned so much from him, and then brought us on to a place we'd never been before, where we went down to New Zealand and won a series. Like we couldn't even buy a win against New Zealand anywhere, but yet
and then to back it up,
and then to back it up, then, do you know what I mean? So like, for me it'd be madness, but what I'm just saying is, like, anything's possible. Nothing is impossible, and if it's a case that Italy come over and beat us, and then all of a sudden we've got England and they beat us and we only get a win against fucking Wales, we're in serious fucking trouble. And you know what happens? The media turns and everybody starts pointing fingers, and who's first in the fire line if that goes on?
If you could make one change, Matt, what would it be?
To what?
To our dip in form, to be a player on the pitch, to be a coach, to whatever, to our systems. If you could make one change.
Okay. If I was to make a change right now for the dip that we've had, I'd start fucking playing young guys.
Mm-hmm.
Plain and simple. I'd start like, okay, I would say to myself, right, we're in the shit, we're already on the dip. What's the harm in me playing all these guys that haven't played for Ireland before, to give them a shot, to give them a fucking go, to get them up to speed? That's what I would do.
Yeah. Now, that's an interesting point, Matt, because I want to go on to the Ireland-England game from the A game, right? England won that 52-14. There was an awful lot of young guys in it. Though few players had experience, Kieran Fry, a few others. Did you see any of the match, and what did you make of it?
I watched the whole match, and when I saw the Ireland team, I was like, they have this in the bag. I was looking at Dan Kelly, Kieran Frawley, fucking Billy Bohan, who was with the Ireland beforehand. You'd Scott Wilson, Fineen Wycherley, fucking huge names. And I said, we've fucking got this. But then all of a sudden, I realized they were only put together on fucking Monday, had probably 1 or 2 training sessions, and then I can tell you that England team were unbelievable. And okay, I'm not saying that was why we lost because we were put together so quickly, but that England side
why we lost.
Had played fucking 3 or 4 games. They played against the New Zealand.
Matt, I clarified that for you now, right? That Ireland A squad, right? Since November 2022 have played, that was their 4th game, right?
Yeah.
We played England February last year. England have played Ireland. They've had 2 summer games, a November game, and Ireland again. They've had 5 games in a year.
There you go.
Ireland has had 4 games in what? 3.5 years? 3.5 years.
There you go.
So you can understand why there's a certain amount of overlap for the players, had a certain amount of gelling, getting used to the system and stuff like that. So even as good as a squad. Now, Bevan has a good comment here, says the dynamic change when Matthew Devine came onto the pitch, the intensity change, just goes to show how good of a player he is and that he's not being utilised properly. I'd have him starting over Gunn, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She has a point. Yeah, she has a point.
No, but he done very well when he came on. Yeah,
look at like Zach Ward and Bryn Ward have been playing absolutely fantastic for fucking Ulster. But yet, when they were playing in that team, they just nobody seemed to know each other. Even Joshua Kenny, we've seen what he's done for Ulster. Shane Daly is savage for Munster. There was just no cohesion. There was absolutely no cohesion.
Fucking cohesion. He fucking said it. I knew it. I was going to say the same thing.
But you know what I mean? What I mean? There wasn't any cohesion, and you could see it. Passes weren't going to hand. People didn't know where their runners were. There was lack of fucking calling. Like backs always have their calls, lineouts always have their calls, all that sort of stuff. There seemed to be nothing, and it seemed to be fucking 23 lads thrown on the pitch and go off. You go, see what you can do.
Yeah, but you only finished up URC games the week before. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It wasn't fine.
And they're thrown together for the first time. You understand it at the under-20s. But yeah, look, I was the same as you, Matt. In all fairness, I was going, fucking, this is great now. These lads are lighting it up with their provinces. Like a lot of them are. And this is their chance now to fucking shine and hold their hand up.
Yeah.
and in fairness, I think I might have said, was it on our own group maybe, or could have been another group, private group, but at one stage there, Faz was sitting in the stand, and I can't remember who, I think it was Daly actually, when he tried to stop the ball with his fucking foot, and the camera panned on him, and he almost had a small look, as much as say, we see you fuckers on social media.
Yeah.
I just proved you wrong. This is why I'm not picking him. But as I said, it was. I don't think that game was a fair reflection of the talent that was out there on the pitch.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. Because even Bev Henry saying here, the players we thought would shine seemed to drop off, which was really annoying. Like Ward, Kenny, Dan Kelly, etc. as well.
But if you had that team, that exact 23 for a whole season playing Six Nations, it'd be a fucking savage team.
Yeah.
When they're coached right, like under Andy Farrell, under John Fogarty, and the likes.
They'll give any of the provinces a run for their money.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's move on to the other game that was on the weekend as well. The under-20 match. And then I'll come to you this one first. France 50, Ireland on 21. From the under-20s match.
Yeah, look, it was kind of much of muchness as it was with the A game or the XV game or whatever you want to call it. But I thought that there was more to get into on the under-20s. There was a couple of little fucking terriers in that game.
Yeah.
And they took some nice tries and fucking hell, they went down fighting. I'll give them that. Yet again, those. But you see, look again, those fucking French players, our under-20s are basically in academies, if they're even, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Whereas the French under-20s are probably playing pro rugby with the last fucking 7, 8, 9 months. Our season, you know what I mean, and that is the difference. So it is very hard to balance it up. But yeah, we've managed to turn them over. We've had a couple of Grand Slams with our under-20s team. So we'll see. Cully Tucker's going down to take over. So we'll keep our fingers crossed for what the future holds. But yeah, no, look, there were some good performances on the night.
Yeah, it's picky about the results. Matt, your thoughts on the under-20 game?
Yeah, look, it's pretty much the same, I saw something the other day and it said over the 3 games Ireland scored 48 points and they lost and they conceded 138. And in tries it was fucking 19 tries to 6 or 5 or 6. You look at them stats and it's paints a very fucking bleak picture. But as Len said, look, there is some sparks in that under-20 side, and I think a lot of them guys will be guys to watch in the future. They'll definitely be thereabouts making teams later on. But just again, France were just fucking unbelievable. They really were.
Lads, where's Barrett, the scrum half from?
Say again?
Barrett? I'm not sure.
Barrett.
Munster, I think, but I could be wrong.
I don't know.
I think he's a Munster man, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I'm not too sure.
He just reminded me. He was like a young Springer.
If anyone knows where the under 20 scrum half Barrett is from, let me know.
Christopher Barrett, is it?
I think so. Yeah.
I'll Google it now and see.
Yeah, there's actually Bevan here as well. Says Noah Byrne is something else. His charge down at conversion was amazing.
It was excellent. That was very good.
Joe Lyons. Oh, Joe, you could get Mike Reedy ranted onto you here now. Anyway, he goes, that Safa Josh Neal is one hell of a prospect. He was definitely a positive in that game. Matt, don't bother Googling.
Yeah, he's from Cork.
Yeah, Bevan got him there before you. Chris Barrett was Munster.
She's our wealth of knowledge, Bevan.
Yeah. No, she's just faster on fucking Google.
Yeah, well, she's probably half the age.
Yeah, and Joel Guy's going UCC Tech.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Not wrong with going to UCC. Not sure being from Cork is a good thing, especially when you could be a Kerry man. Or from Waterford. Or Tape.
What's the best thing that came out of Kerry? The fucking road to Cork.
No, the road to Kerry. That's the best thing about Kerry, it's the road to it. You can come out from there, you can come in from Kinmare. That's the great thing about Kerry.
Yes, definitely didn't get this down Kerry, did you? Because I said the best thing to come out of Kerry is the road.
The people. The people come out of Kerry.
The people don't come out of fucking Kerry. They fucking stay in Kerry, you lunatic.
Dahi O'Shea.
When have you ever seen a Kerry man outside of fucking
Moss
Kerry?
Keane, Ciara Griffin, Siobhan Fleming, Maurice Fitzgerald.
I've never heard of any of these cunts.
You never heard of Nick Baldwin in Moss Keane?
No.
Some rugby men, you are stick to the guard there, Matt. Lads, I come on, lads. Fuck me.
You're all right, thanks.
Not tonight.
Matt, just because business says that to you as well. Matt, your thoughts on how would you like to see that Ireland Italy go the weekend? Game go the weekend. And what changes would you like to see from the squads compared to France in general?
Fucking hell, Jesus Christ! What needs to happen is we need to go out and fucking absolutely slaughter them. Is what needs to happen. Whether or not that happens or not, I don't know. I know you're laughing at that point by Gregor, but I've been to Kerry many times, and I used to be on the road down in Munster, believe it or not, and I know Kerry inside out pretty much. So, he could stick that comment up his hole.
Look, since you pointed out there, I have to show it. Gregor Galway, don't think Matt could even point out Kerry on a map.
Well, he's wrong about that because I have been a salesman for a very, very long time on the road, and I've probably driven every single fucking road in this country.
Not in Kerry, haven't you?
I fucking have.
Yeah.
I
No.
fucking have.
The main roads, maybe, not the second back roads.
Oh, I've definitely driven the back roads because there's a lot of
The ones where they do the poaching run.
woodworking fellas down there in Kerry, and we used to supply a lot of them. So, I've been around.
The Ring of Kerry doesn't constitute as a back road, Matt.
And the Ring of Kerry's fabulous.
Yeah, it is. But it still doesn't constitute as a back road. Anyway, Ireland, Italy.
Oh,
And
sorry.
he's a bit
Yeah,
more back
I have a car. They don't usually drive through fields, if that's what you call a back road. Fucking muck and shite and fucking crap.
Just because you do that in New York, neck of the woods, Matt. All right? We don't do that here in Kerry.
There are fields in Dublin, you lunatic.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. You drive
The
through buildings.
only fields we have in Dublin are fucking rugby fields. Nothing
There's a
else.
show when you get back onto the rugby, but yeah.
Yeah. Enough of this kind of slag the site. Come on, back to rugby, Matt. You always get a knee grief.
Rugby fields.
Yeah, come on, Ireland, Italy, Matt. Come on. Focus.
Sorry. Yeah, look, like I said, we need to fucking destroy Italy, and changes I'd like to make. I'd love to see fucking Nick Timoney start, right? For starters, I think he had an absolute fantastic game when he came off the bench. Who else? Do you know, I'd love to see Josh Kenny get a go. I really would.
Instead of Stockdale?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We need to fucking tackle. Plain and simple. How many missed tackles did we have against France? 41.
Fucking way too many.
We should have 0 missed tackles in this fucking game against Italy. And I know it's probably impossible.
Let's look.
We need massive improvements. Like 41 tackles. That's unforgivable. You know, and I think that has to be some sort of record.
And 3.4% of them of our own tackles dominant. That is 3%, 4% of your tackles are dominant. Fuck off, yeah.
Yeah. So really, I think so. I saw somebody else post that as well earlier on before Peter did. So I think you should give somebody else the credit for that, not Peter.
Yeah. No, Peter was saying that as well anyway, and go back and fight the comment. Yeah, because I think
what did he say?
A dog both should play.
Yeah. Now I know there's someone else on you, so just give me a minute. But would you agree with that though?
Said it. I would agree. The chap is unreal. He's a unit, an absolute fucking unit of a man, and that's what we need. We need to bully these fellas off the park.
No, we don't. Well, not if we're going down this new style of play that Andy Farrell seems to be transitioning into, where it's a kick chase game coming off the 9 and 10, and maybe our back rowers following it up.
Okay.
If
that's the way it's going, we need to be able to fucking catch a ball. But then we need to fucking catch a ball. So we need to pick players that can fucking catch. So Stockdale's gone. You
need Tommy O'Brien. You need Osborne. You need Kenny that has like I'm not even sure. You do need a speedster like Kenny, and that is the way we're going. But like for the Italy match, to be quite honest with you, do you know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see the exact same fucking team, and the exact same bench, and the fucking exact same fucking.
You've got a fair point
at the exact same fucking time.
You've
to
got
see
a fair
just where we are against Italy and where we are compared to where we are against France. Don't fucking change your team. Same fucking team. That's what I'd love to see.
What I would, on what you're saying there, I think you're absolutely spot on, right? I know it's impossible, but I would love if we played Italy last week to see where this team was against Italy.
I don't think we're going to know. unless you play the same fucking team, the same fucking bench.
Yeah, but
You know?
you know yourself though. There's going to be a reaction.
Oh yeah,
There
absolutely.
has to be a reaction now.
No, I'm just saying in my own little fucking brain here, like my fucking little Walter Mitty
No,
fucking world here.
No,
right?
you've got a very good point. Let these guys go out and fix it. Let them go out and
Yeah.
make amends for their performances at the weekend. You know, but again, like this kick chase thing, if that's the way we're going to go,
It is, yeah.
we need to we need to be retaining 90% of that ball then.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. But
As opposed to less than 20%, yeah.
no, how often, right? Has Hugo Keenan kicked and retained ball, or how many times?
You see, this is it.
And retained ball?
Here we go, right? The mystery of Sam Prendergast starting over Crowley, right? And this is not now. I know that's sitting there fucking behind me, right? And this is not a slight on any of the fucking players, but at the fucking moment, it's nothing to do with Munster. It's nothing to do with Leinster. I would fucking start probably Harry Byrne.
Harry Byrne. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I would too.
No, I'm not talking about the Italy match, right? Harry Byrne's kind of on form. He showed a bit of confidence when he took the kick off of fucking Sam. It isn't anything to do with that. The reasons, because we're transitioning this, fucking Prendergast is good off the foot, right? You know what they really need? They don't need any of the fucking three lads. They need to fucking drag in fucking, somebody actually said on the group, Davy fucking Clifford or something, the JA player, that just go tap, 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 tap. This is where we're fucking going with this shit, right? They don't need to fucking defend. What they're looking is somebody can drop the ball in behind. And Sam is probably better than that, than the other two. And this is why Sam is being picked ahead of the guys. And people are scratching their heads going, why the fuck is Crowley not starting? Why is Harry not starting? Why is Foley not starting? Because what they're trying to do, what they seem to be transitioning into, Sam is probably the best at. Now, he has other negatives, but so be it.
I totally agree with you. And I think they're developing him because they see better potential in his kicking abilities.
No, he's more. Why doesn't fucking Farrell come out and fucking and explain this to the fucking general fucking rugby public instead of fucking creating civil fucking war?
I've said this before, and I've said it. I don't know how many fucking times I've said it. You play them to their abilities, and you play them to the opposition that's going to suit them better. If you're looking for that player that's going to kick ball cross field or chase and allow us to retain ball, you play Sam. If you need somebody that's going to be good in defense and good elsewhere where Sam isn't, you play Jack. I wanted to fucking start Harry Byrne against fucking France anyway. I would have picked him because at that point in time he was playing better. His form was way better than both of them. That's no disrespect.
And maybe to pick up the two boys needed as well.
But that's the thing we've said, Danny. Like,
but I think this is why people can't figure out why he's constantly being picked. Why they're trying to get, because he is that better kick out of hand than the other two lads. They're trying to get him up. They're feeding into this new system, and that's why he's being fucking picked, right? Like it or lump it, that is where we were going. And if you get your brain around it, going, okay, this is
the one thing I can't get my fucking head around is why we decided to play a kick chase game with a back three of fucking Thomas Ramos, Louis Bayalbury, and fucking Atasogbe when they can run and destroy teams.
The worst. But you see what I'm saying?
Three worst players in the world you could be kicking to.
This was the time to fucking go, this is what we're working towards, lads. This is what we're going to fucking play when we get to the fucking World Cup. This is what's going to get us to the quarterfinals. But we just won't do it today because of the three lads at the fucking back. Yeah. Let's go through fucking face play. Now, there's something fucking wrong there somewhere, in my opinion.
Fucking jumper stuff against them lads.
Absolutely. And we saw it. When the bench came on, we went through a bit of face play. But that's another fucking stat. Our face play, it's something like fucking 3 or 4 phases, and we're going to the kick game. So, as I said, it seems to be Farrell's system that we're transitioning into this fucking kick chase game, copying England. I know it's the way the game is going, but I personally, right, and I ain't a fucking head coach. I ain't even a fucking minis coach.
None of us are.
I don't think this game is going to suit us. As you said earlier, maybe if you have fucking Keenan on the pitch, maybe if you have Hansen on the pitch, maybe if you have Kenny on the pitch, and these guys can regather the ball, maybe.
Absolutely.
Now,
Look,
Matt,
you always fight fire with fire. So if you're playing a back three of Ramos, fucking Louis Balebury, and Atasogbe, you want guys like Hansen, you want guys like Keenan, you want guys like Josh Kenny that can run just as fucking fast as they can, but also can retain ball and catch ball, high ball, and challenge in the air. You don't like Tommy O'Brien, okay, normally he is fucking A1 and top notch at carrying ball, but he had a bad day as well. And I'm not blaming him. He's not the only one. But
yeah,
we've seen from...
But that system is getting away from ball carriers. And it's certainly getting away from a 10 that attacks the line, because they actually don't want you attacking the line. Yeah. This is the whole fucking point. They don't want a fucking... Well, Crowdy attacks the line, which I love to fucking see. I like the physical 10, be it Harry or fucking be it Frawley or be it Jack, because that's just the style of play I like, right, to watch. But they don't want their 10 fucking hitting the gain line. They want them putting that fucking kick in behind for the chasers from the halfway line or just inside it. So there you go.
Lads, I just ask you for your result because we're over time. There's a rare comms draft coming in, lads, and apologies for not getting through all of them. Matt, Ireland or Italy, who do you see winning?
This is a test of character. They need to go out and fucking slaughter Italy now the weekend.
Len,
nothing else will be acceptable.
Len, Ireland or Italy, who do you see winning?
Look, I see Ireland winning. We were just talking about it. Their Mike is Capizzuto playing or whatever. Capizzuto. I can never fuck. I get fucking confused between Walsh and Welsh. So don't be throwing fucking
Z's in there
here now, right?
Yeah.
But like, is he playing? I wonder. Because
I don't know.
if he is, that's an added fucking threat to the team that beat Scotland. So we'll have to be on our toes. Yeah, look, you have to fucking give Ireland the win of this, and I think Farrell has basically got to kick up the arse fucking after that fucking French game, and he's going to be. If he leaves this one behind him, as Matt said earlier, maybe that contract might be coming to a fucking end.
Yeah, but like, who knows? Crystal ball stuff. Like, if I had a fucking crystal ball, I'd be fucking winning the lotto every week.
Yeah.
Pauline in there as well. Crowley is better utility player. Played in both. Agree with Matt. Harry should have played. And Bev Elmbreen here said, we need a fast 12 and 13 to go up against Menocello. He's such a great player, and he was on that under 20 squad that beat England in 2022.
And I know her. I think she didn't mention it, did she? She didn't mention Cottle Ford. No, she didn't. But like, again, it wouldn't be a fucking bad pick.
Yeah, he might be. He might be a player that's needed as well. Anyway, Joe Lyon's two biggest players for Ireland are Hansen and Keenan. The way the back line works when they are in there is chalk and cheese. Hansen comes in to the line, and Keenan manages space like no other. Are arguably the largest factor in the line. So,
100%.
Yeah.
I suppose we'll wrap it up there until next week again. Hopefully we'll have a better result to be talking about this Monday. So, Matt, Len, until next week.
I'm fucking halfway through my rant, Danny. For fuck's sake.
But you can come back Thursday night and rant away on Peter's show.
I'm very excited about this now. I'll just have you know. I need to calm down. Maybe have a point or two.
Gregor's just pointed out Capuazzo is back in the Italy team.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
It's going to be fucking interesting game, lads.
Cappuccino.
Yeah. So you should that could end them all right, lads. And we'll go out in the street.